today we don't have an agenda. We will go with the panels, but if you want, we can begin with the regular intentions and distractions for the call instead of intentions and praise in TC. Let's say the intentions for the call and distractions that we have. For example, me is that I would like to review with you the progress of the last 2 weeks and set up new projects in which we will be working in parallel. And distractions, I have not current distractions today. Maybe I have a little bit of hunger, and I would like to eat something, but I can wait for 1 hour. Who will go next?
Me. So distractions. Well, this past couple of weeks I've been kind of AFK from the project. I was busy with my current job, but starting from Wednesday, I'm 100% free, and I can put all my energy to the project. And I know you guys have been working on the Aragon Convert and the deploying, well, Sam deploying the what's that, the Jenkins, I think, and fixing some problems with the XDI deployment too. So, but I haven't been 100%. I haven't put 100% of my attention to the project, but yeah, I'm kind of interested
to review now all the progress that we already have, and also the new things that we are going to do. And I'm so glad that you will be able to onboard again, and because your knowledge on super apps are going to be very valuable, as you will see.
I hope so.
Okay, who wants to go next?
I can go. Well, starting with distractions. Last week I was 100% out. I had a couple of family issues, and also my job was taking me a lot of time. So yeah, from now on, I'm having more hours to continue working with you. And the intention is to catch up with all of you where we are, and continue setting up what we are going to do.
I would like to introduce. Actually, I would like to introduce you to Tonga. Maybe some of you don't know him. He is also interested in the Gardens template and TEC, and I invited him. Also, Septimus is part of the TEC, and he wanted to record the call, so we can share it with Rain later and with the rest of the people at TEC. So yeah, if you want to go on, Vivi.
Okay. I can start with distractions as well. This weekend I couldn't work in tech at all because I had a class that I was going to teach. I teach as yesterday actually, and it was from 9 to 5. So I'm kind of tired from that still, but it's a new week, and I'm excited to work on new stuff and probably do something on the tech interface and the converter. I don't know. I was thinking maybe do some tests on the interface, but I don't know if we are interested in that. But that was something that I thought about. And yeah, maybe that's my intention as well. Thinking about what we will do this week and what are the next steps.
Cool.
That's it.
Yeah, I think I can take it. Actually, I feel I'm pretty focused, but I mean, I'm a bit my major trouble normally is like, but I'm getting better. Like when we organize all the documents on GitHub, at the beginning I was a bit scared about that because I never used that, and I remember when I was very little watching Sam using it, and it was that's scary. But little by little, I'm getting good to that, and yeah, no major distractions at all. And I think Tonga is the last.
Yeah, I don't know what should I tell. Hello, Sam. How are you?
It used to go like intentions for this call, and then sometimes in common stack calls we praise someone. Sometimes we say, okay, distractions for this call. So we don't know, maybe there is noise outside, or my cat is over here, or like that. So it's a little bit of a way to understand where the other people are, and so just distractions you have. Hello, Fior.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey,
How are
Fiore.
you?
I know Fiore too. I know Gabi. You remember?
Yeah. How are you, Tonga?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Cool. So I don't have many distractions now. Yeah. No, I was ready. Like I prepared everything before. I walked the dog. I don't know. Went to the gym. I'm ready.
Cool.
So I think
Intentions?
Fiore is next.
Uh,
And
okay,
intention?
well,
Sorry.
what, sorry?
Intentions for this call, Tonga?
Intentions. I'm trying to figure out what to work on. Like I have been. I don't know if we can do that in this call, or or maybe.
I think so. We
Okay.
will see now. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Do you want to go, Fior? It is distractions for this call and intentions.
Right. Well, I'm just starting with this. I need to talk with Marco to think how are we going to do the skinning for the app. And that's all from my side from now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any distraction?
No, for the moment.
Okay. So if you would like, we could review the progress that we did the last 2 weeks and see what is coming next. So I can share my screen. Septia, are we already recording, or you are going to record now? Oh, okay, that's cool. Okay. So you see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we can begin with the things that have been done. This was the doing, to do, doing, and done, but I renamed them. So the done things are flowers, and they go from seeds to flowers. So what has been done the last 2 weeks is we already have the contracts of fundraising deployed on XDAI. It was a little bit difficult to have them there, but they are already there. And what we have now is almost we have a prototype of all the TEC. And we have been working on, just to catch up with people, we have been working on the TEC template, which is an Aragon template that grabs all the applications, the redemption, Dandelion voting, conviction voting, Tollgate, and puts them in a template. We have deployed in Rinkeby and then in XDAI. And now we are already going to deploy with the fundraising app on XDAI again. It's not completely ready, but we are almost there. So we have that TEC template, okay? And we also have this hatch oracle that prevents people to contribute with more tokens than the CSTK tokens that they have. The idea is that in the hatch phase, they cannot contribute. We want only people from the trusted seed to contribute. So we are going to require them to have in their accounts CSTK tokens, and that stands for Common Stack tokens. And this is independent of the impact hours. So actually not that independent. Impact hour, if you receive funds from the impact hours, maybe then it still has to be defined actually. I don't want to say something that then it's not going to be true. So this is going to work in order to prevent people who is not from the trusted seed to buy in the hatch. And we almost have it. I think that Fabi was going to do a pull request, but well, he has been working on finishing it up. And what we need to do is to integrate it in here, in the TEC template. We also have the TEC interface. It's not this one. It's another one, but it's based on the honeypot. And we will be hacking on this a lot because we probably want to have more. We want to reduce how the proposals are, all the conviction voting things. We can talk about that later. And we also have the Aragon converter. we need to write up some better readmes in all those repos. That it's also almost done. We just have to connect it with the XDAI addresses. And these are the 4 repos we have in TE Commons. And we are also working with Marketplace from OneHive. We have these apps here. We have the Bancor formula, which is the formula for the bonding curve. That other application, Bancor Market Maker, which uses the Bancor formula in order to buy and sell the tokens and mint and burn the TEC tokens. And we have the marketplace controller, which has the front end for the bonding curve. And these 3 goes together. And And we also have that pre-sale application, which is the one that goes after the bonding curve. And it's the one that we already tested in the first test. And maybe we can recall it hatch. We are still not sure, depending on if we are going to hack it a lot or we just use it as it is. So these are the 4 applications from the marketplace apps. We are also using conviction voting. It's in this other repository here. And we are also using a token manager org that is working with conviction voting and dandelion voting. It adds a hook in order to call some of the functions of conviction voting and dandelion voting before a token is transferred. We are working with that because we may want to hack a bit the front end on vesting. There is more on that later. So these are the reports that we are currently working with. 4 are from TEC and 3 are from OneHive. And now we can go back to the things that we already completed. So we have been publishing the marketplace applications into XDAI. This is a kind of fault. We deploy the front end for conviction voting. This is the gov.teccommons.org. And we also have received the impact hours from a CSV in order to put them in the hatch. We already did that proposal in the forum. So we received honey for do this work. And we have a forum too. We are also added vesting. Paulo added vesting to impact hours from here. Finally, we have a name, a ticker symbol, and a logo for the TEC token. So it's a lot of work that we have done in, I think it was 2 weeks. And now there is also work that is being done right now. For example, the migration of the applications to use the latest technology. It is taking more than expected, but we are almost there. For example, the marketplace applications are all migrated. The dandelion voting, it's already migrated. I didn't notice that. Conviction voting is not started at all. And we already have a pull request for redemptions and also for tollgate. And tokens is already migrated too. So it's almost done except for conviction voting. Well, I guess that I am taking this task and I will be able to finish it soon. Also, we have been working on understanding what virtual supply, virtual balance, and reserve ratio are for the bonding curve. And it's something that we have been working with Griff and Fabi. And it's much more clear now, but still not clear enough. So it's still a plant, not a flower. But the general idea is that we can set up a reserve ratio that, for example, is 10%. That's the reserve ratio is how much XDAI is going to be to cover the cost of the TEC. It's like in the reserve, the Federal Reserve, kind of, in which there is a percentage of the collateral inside the bonding curve. And the rest is how the bonding curve is, and which is the shape of the bonding curve. And what else? we have been setting up the hatch balance oracle. This is this repo here, and Fabi has been taking the how is it called? Testigo. Like he's working on it right now.
Witness.
He has been taking the witness. And what else? Yeah, Daihi is also Daihi and Griff are also working on documenting all the parameters from the Gardens template. I wanted to ask him something about that in order to update this card here, but I guess that we can ask him later. So these are the things that are almost complete, and I hope that we can have them soon. And now the things that are ready to do this week, the most important are these four, and they are kind of sub projects that you can take in pairs. If I was going to propose you to take them in pairs. So in groups of two, you can pair program them, and I can help in whatever you need. Also, if somebody else is interested in helping the other groups, it's also okay. I am not going to pair with anyone because I will be able to work in all the groups at the same time in some way, like helping or resolving the doubts. And so if I would like to you choose one of the projects here. So first of all, the vesting in the tokens. This is something that just before the call, I learned that we already have. This was the original Figma, in which you have actually the vesting is the number of locked tokens that you have that you cannot move because you were in the hatch and you receive tokens for a very good price, but they are locked during a period of time. So this is already implemented. I didn't know, but if there are vesting, you have a new tab in your token manager that is said vestings, and you see all the vestings that you have. For example, you are going to receive 120 ETH over time if you wait enough. Actually, they are being unlocked in the meantime, so you can transfer the tokens that are already available. So actually, your balance is not updated. It's like they are going to be minted for you, or actually transferred from the token manager to you over time, and you can click here and be able to claim those tokens. That's the idea. So this is already done. I didn't test it, but this is already done. So in order to do that project, we could find ways to improve this experience for the people who is going to have these tokens in the hatch. And I still don't know how this will look like. Maybe we just want to add a graph. Let me see if I have the graph over here. I sent to Fior before. No, it wasn't Fior. It was Rain. Okay, this is the graph that we have for vesting. Sometimes it's usual to have a cliff in which you are not going to receive token, and from a certain point of time, you begin to receive well, a lot of tokens, and from there you can go gradually getting your tokens again in a curve like that. So what we can have is something that aggregates all the cliffs and vested curves of all the community. So we will have something like that for the community. And this could be something that is in the as a box in the lateral of the token manager or something like that. It's up for the people to decide what they want. And it's for sure something that requires some it is going to require some JavaScript knowledge. I mean, this is completely a front-end project. You get the data from the background script, and you just need to hack the Aragon UI. And what else? Mama, I am... Wait a sec. Mama, que estic una trucada.
Ja no vinc, és que em porto d'això.
Mama, però no pots vindre. És que podes córrer.
Però em d'això, té de gust.
No.
Boniato.
Mama, que estic en córrer.
Boniato.
I'm sorry, guys.
Deixa de moure de ment, Ves.
I'm sorry, guys.
You have food now.
I have told her a lot of time. Just please don't come when I am working. There is no way. There is no way. Okay, so what else do we have? And this is something that the people who is wanting to work on that can decide which is the best way to show the graph, that particular graph, if we want to go with that. And Reina already volunteered for doing that, so we need somebody else. So we can have a pair in this project. Would like to work with that?
I can help.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We can. I am looking for somebody else, like one person. And Pablo, I already wanted you to do something else.
Oh, okay. No problem.
I can help with the UI. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's two-person, maybe we can do it with Fabi.
Sure.
Okay, let's go with all the projects, and then you choose which projects you want to work with, okay?
Cool.
So this is the first project, to aggregate all the vestings and show it in the front end. The second one is that we are converting impact hours into TEC tokens in the hatch. But so people is going to receive TEC tokens for working in the TEC during the first days. That's the general idea. Right now, it is being done when we deploy the DAO in the TEC template. I can show you. let's see. Actually, it's not here. It's here in the script.
I
We
think
have
you wanted Septimus to choose the past project, right?
the
The last project, the one you were just talking. I think I said maybe I can do it, but maybe you wanted Septimus to do it or not.
no Septimus not. It's right. I'm not sure what are you saying.
I don't know,
It's Rain who is
it's a thought only. Sorry.
it's Rain who volunteered for the working on the vesting. We need somebody else, and in that case, we have the impact hours. So when we are deploying the DAO, we grab the impact hours from the CSV like here, and we set them some vestings to them. And the vestings are being created here actually, and people received tokens for impact hours with a vesting. But we don't know here how much money we have raised with the hatch. So they received an amount of TC tokens based on a static amount, not a dynamic amount. So it's difficult to know if they are going to how much reward they are going to have depending on how much funds the hatch is getting. We are actually that doesn't have so much sense without something else. It is defining a minimum and a maximum goal. So I guess that in that case, the idea was to move that into the hatch when the goal has been completed, so we can determine there how much TC tokens people are going to receive. But actually, it's not that it's something that we should decide if we do it or not, and we didn't decide it yet to set a minimum and a maximum goal. So we have a range in which we need at least a minimum goal in order to deploy in order to begin the bonding curve. If not, the funds are returned. But we can also continue receiving funds until the end of the hatch period. So, because this has not been decided yet, I guess that we should not work on this because it doesn't have sense without that one. But yet we need the Griff input on this because we're thinking on selecting how much tokens people will receive depending on the money that the hatch received. More on this in the next call, I guess, because we need Griff input here. So the next project is about knowing how much is worth a TEC token. The Aragon fundraising, the marketplace app, already is using a PPF, which is a passive price feed, which is a contract that is sending to a REST API. Actually, it's a contract that is recording how much the TC is worth. And then we also have a server that with a REST API that you can fetch how much TC has worth during the time. So you can do a nice graph with that. And we have to set it up. We are going to need it for sure, because in the convert right now, we can only convert tokens, but we don't have a history of how much it has worth. So we will need that, and also a nice graph with the historic price of TAC. This is the project that, I mean, this is a project that has a lot of, I mean, this can span for 2 weeks probably. You have to understand how the PPF works. Probably we want to do a subgraph instead of a server, so we can publish it in the graph. And we will also need to have a, how is it called, a graph of the price somewhere. I don't know if you can hack a little bit on it in the servers in the Figma side to have that graph integrated in the convert. I think it's going to be a little bit difficult because we already have that nice page, and I don't know how to integrate here a graph actually. Maybe in the backend, I don't know. I don't know. If you could think something about that, or maybe a different tab or something.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
And what else do we have? I don't know where I was.
Are you guys using the batch bonding curve or the marketplace one?
Marketplace one.
And you updated the converter site to use that?
Not yet.
Ah, nice.
Oh, look. I didn't see you.
Hey, yeah, I just hopped in. Sorry to interrupt.
I had to do that, but I'm still having problems with the XI deployment. I don't know what is going on. I redeployed all the fundraising apps with the latest version because they are migrated to Builder. And maybe I did something wrong with something, because I cannot buy or sell things in the bonding curve from the Aragon application. And also the convert is not working well with the ones that are. It's not that it's not working, the conversion, which is, it has to be changed for the instead of the batching using the normal the marketplace, but it also doesn't fetch the price, which is weird, and it has some kind of problem with that. I have to check it out. I hope that it can be done during this week. But it's the last thing that we need in order to have a prototype for the Gardens template on TEC. And from there, we are updating everything with. From there, we are just adding new features, which are the mini projects that I am proposing here. So the next project is actually this is the second project, and I wanted to propose it to Paulo because he has a lot of knowledge with super apps, and maybe you can take on it and transform the PPF into a super app. And,
Sure.
and I know that Tonga also is interested in learning Dragon Connect and this stuff. I think that it's going to be a difficult project, but probably you are going to learn a lot too.
Yeah, I've been reading the docs at least. I think I can take a look at least and see if I can help Paulo. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he knows much more, but I don't know.
Okay, and I think that it's going to be the most difficult project probably, but I will be there helping with whatever I can. And I know that you Pablo are going to master that. Finally, we have this one is something that is going to be quite interesting. We have been discussing on how to improve conviction voting for a while in the conviction voting repo. We have been thinking on using DAI as a measure of conviction, and also there are some ideas over here that they have to be refined, but interesting. I think that there is also, wait a sec, there is also something over here that can show you a little bit what is thinking of. So we can have a graph in which you can see your conviction over time, the general conviction over time, and the required conviction or the threshold, how it is going up and down, and also setting up the conviction in DAI instead of percentages. So you need to stake. It's also part of how Griff was thinking on conviction voting, because you can, the idea was you can vote on it, but you can also donate to a particular proposal. So you lower a little bit the threshold if you donate on one proposal, because then the proposal is not requesting a certain amount of funds, it's requesting less. So the amount is going down and down. So as I was saying, yet we still have to define this very well before we implement it. But they are ideas that are worth to look at to build the TEC, conviction voting. Yeah, this is the other project that we have to improve the honeypot. We are right now using version 1. So the idea is to improve it and implement all that crazy ideas we had on conviction. And those are all the, I never know where I am. Here. So these are the 3 projects. Actually, I would like to recover that one, just because maybe we also want to review what people is expecting from the hatch and the impact towers. And if we are already covering it, to update the documentation, but if we are not yet covering it, modify the pre-sale contract in order to cover the expectations that people have. And then we also have some more things that you can work with. For example, on the documentation of actually everything. Here we have the documentation of the hatch oracle, but everything should be documented because we are pretty poor in documentation. And the architecture diagram, it's also documentation. To have a diagram on how the applications are being connected in the Gardens template, and probably also in the Gardens template is okay. How everything is connected. There are other Aragon documentation that is showing how it is done. I can help with that to you if you need it. I also will be making clearer parameters to conviction voting. So I am getting this one. And this is what we have this week. So I don't know if you have some questions, if you would like to get on some of them, or you have proposals on do other things that would be interesting. Vivian already said that you would like to do front-end tests, which would be pretty cool. And yeah. Would you like to? Yeah.
Who was talking? Okay. I was interested in the redesign for conviction voting, but I didn't understand if this was something that's not entirely like set in stone, or it is. And like we can start working on it.
Right now we have the TEC, the honeypot version 1, and it has to be completely redesigned for many reasons.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons is that we used to have just one token, which is right now is, and it was represented here. But in the Gardens template, we have two tokens. One is TC and the other one is DAI. And it doesn't appear here that these are in DAI actually, but the common pool is in DAI. Also, there are some improvements. For example, we are mixing up signaling requests and funding requests, and maybe we don't want to have that in that way because they are very different things. And also the conviction used in signaling cannot be used in funding. So it's not fair because people who is spending conviction on signaling cannot spend it in funding. Probably want to change that and have two tabs, one for signaling and one for funding, and they use different conviction apps. That's an idea. We may have to refine it, but the original conviction voting was with that in mind, that we will have different conviction applications with different convictions for funding and signaling. And still, we might want to redefine what signaling means. But we have this 0x DAI, 0x DAI that maybe don't have much sense. Also, we have a max threshold of, I don't know, maybe 20%. And it's always going to be from here to here. And we are losing a lot of space here in the bar. So probably instead of showing a bar that it's never going to be completed, we can have we can show the max amount of the max threshold as 100% and change also the color of the conviction, so we can see if it is going to be and use it as a gradient, so we can see if it is going to grow very fast or very slow. They are still ideas that are on the oven, but we can experiment a lot with that. And I am going to be working on those ideas with you, I guess. Would you like to work with me on that?
Of course, yeah. We can discuss that and came up with that changes on the UI, of course.
Because we already have been working on designing conviction voting, and maybe it's time to do the next iteration on design. And also we can recover these graphs, as I showed you before, on how conviction has been evolving over time, and do a little bit more of things.
Yeah. Sure.
So the skinning is important, because I think that
Yes.
the colors are not.
I think after the meeting that I'm going to have with Marco tomorrow, I will have a more clear path of how are we going to make that changes. So yeah, it's going to be shortly. Sure.
Also, one of the things that we want to check out is that the conviction, when it is being growing, it doesn't, because it's using a very tiny color. It is not shown in here. You have to look very closely to get how conviction is going to grow. So we should also check that out. And yeah, there are a lot of things in the honeypot that we could be working on. So this is the final the last project that I wanted to share with you. If I also know that you, Viviani, wanted to work on more other things that just front end. I also wanted to propose you to work on this one, actually, because it is hacking the presale application. Maybe it's a good start for begin developing on the Solidity. I don't know.
Maybe I could check it out and see if it's not too challenging. I don't know how's the timetable for that. So yeah, that would be an issue. And I think I could be quicker with like front end projects that I have more experience and can do it faster. But I think it would be a good place to start, for sure.
Okay. Probably we are not going to be as much as they are for projects, and we are going to be much for people. So maybe you can work in pairs in two projects at the same time. So you can take the project that you like and pair with somebody else. We are going to be 5 people in Rain.
Okay.
So can I write you in, for example, in the vesting token manager app? It's going to be Rain, and who else? You wanted to go with that?
Yeah, I could, but I don't know if Tonga wanted to work on the vesting. But
I think that
I'm
it was
fine
Fabi,
with
but
either. What?
I think that it was Fabi, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's Tonga.
Oh, okay.
I don't think
No, wait.
I could maybe, but I
Okay.
wasn't thinking of it.
Okay.
I think that
No, I would be very.
but I'm not sure.
But if Fabi wants to, like, I'm fine with either the vesting token manager app or the conviction voting one. I think they're both really cool.
Okay.
It's fine for me. Go ahead, Bibi, if you want to go to working in that one. No problem.
It's about doing an aggregate of all the vestings. So we have a cool graph. I think that it's going to be more easy, for example, than the passive price feed. That's more easy actually, and we are not going to need a lot of people to do that. It's just a front end project. So I don't know. Actually, it's something that Rain can do, and he will need a little bit of help from somebody who knows more from React.
Yeah,
So,
I think I could maybe help Rain with PRs and stuff, like reviewing his code and give him some tips.
it's a pity because you were saying that you wanted to go more on blockchain and more on Solidity, and I have that in mind because I think that it's interesting for you to go more on full stack. But I still have that in mind. I will keep recommending you that are in the blockchain too.
Yeah, but
Okay,
I can take
so
the move impact hours that you mentioned and like just help Rain with the vesting, not like actually code and do stuff. I could make my
So I assigned automatically Paulo here.
Okay.
So you have no choice. And who else would like
Tonga.
to work with Paulo? Tonga?
Tonga, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. We have two already.
Awesome.
So in that case, impact hours. And who else? Maybe Fabi, because it's similar to what you are already doing in the Hatch Oracle.
Okay.
Okay, we are almost everyone, and you and me are going to be here. And I think it's everything. If somebody would like to follow the progress or help, you are super invited. So these are going to be the things that we are being working during the following 2 weeks, I guess. And there are other things that are still in the to be decided, to be thought of. And some things that the Aragon Black team was reserving for the version 2 of the marketplace application that we could recover. For example, do a kind of proxy to buy for other people in the bonding curve. And also, we clearly need to add a new state in the conviction voting, so the funds can be reserved before they are given to people, and only give them to people if they have completed the tasks. So it's maybe we can set something. I don't know if it has sense to give half of the funds at the beginning and half at the end in order to set it up or something. We need a kind of scroll. For that,
it seems like that shouldn't be built into conviction voting, but to be external to it. Like you send the funds to an escrow and the proposal can be like all of the funds up front or half of the funds up front or none of the funds up front.
Okay.
It shouldn't be part of conviction voting itself.
And this can be done with the CLS, right?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Okay. In the meantime, we can, instead of use Celeste, use something else. Because Garden's version 2 is in the dormant seeds. I mean, it's something that maybe are not going, for sure it's not going to be ready for version 1 of the TEC. But at least we can have something that has sense for conviction voting.
Yeah, I mean, I think the escrow thing, like, I think it would be super, super useful, especially if, like, we can kind of separate it out so that, like, we can use it for the TEC, we can use it for, like, the main OneHive DAO. We could set it up so that the escrow kind of contract has like a designated arbitrator kind of role, which could be like just a trusted community member. It could be a multi-sig, it could be whatever. It could be Celeste. And then we would likely want to use Celeste if we want it to be kind of decentralized in the future. But it doesn't need to be. Like it could just be like a trusted, reputable counterparty or something that is like willing to be the escrow agent.
Yeah, that has a lot of sense. That was already thought in those issues. I mean, there was that payment escrow app, and also that actually they are completely outdated. We have to rethink them, but the discussion was already there. I just wanted to recover it and do something that has sense with Celeste. And then we also have that front end for the hatch that maybe we can have it for the launch, maybe not. If we don't have it, we can just use the Aragon fundraising presale application in order to provide a front end for the people who wants to contribute in the hatch. It will be interesting to have. I don't know if we are going to have time. And that's everything that we have. So we already have the people who wants to work on each of the mini projects, and we can work on them during this week. I will be coordinating with all of you, and if you have questions or whatever I can help, and we can work with that together, okay? And I guess that's everything. I had a lot of things to ask to Griff too, regarding the rest of the TC, but I also see that Livia was here, also Jessica is here. Maybe they have some ideas on.
I've arrived. Sorry, guys. Sorry for being late.
Hello, Griff. I didn't see you. That regarding the, I wanted to upgrade the. Let's see, where is it? The forum thing and how we are going to discuss the parameters with the rest of the community. If we can have an update on what I know that you have been working on with the documentation of the spec and also that he have been working on.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask for help. I'm not able to execute on very much these days, so I would love some support. But in general, the outline for the hatch that is already there, where there's a hatch post, and then there's like that kind of covers the hatch and the parameters that are important to debate, and then a single post for each parameter, the concept that needs to be decided. So it's kind of like this tier structure where we have the TEC, like technical build, divided into a few parts: the hatch, the conviction voting, augmented bonding curve, and dandelion voting as like the four big components. And then each one having like a big post that references a lot of smaller posts, and making sure that we have the kind of that tree structure.
I think that it's very important to not call it an augmented bonding curve, because we are using Bancor bonding curve, and actually the augmented bonding curve can be implemented with TEC in the future when TEC can implement that.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're not having a funding pool, or what is the?
We are having a Bancor bonding curve, which is a different implemented, different format.
I don't understand the difference from an augmented bonding curve perspective. The augmented part, as I understood it, is the funding pool kind of component, not necessarily the math associated with the bonding implementation. So I guess like I don't know if there's a clear definition of the augmented bonding curve and like what the implementation shift would be there. So yeah, I'm just not clear on that.
I would agree. I think we could call it the augmented bonding curve because it is a bonding curve that funnels money to a funding pool, and I think it'd be fine. It would be really nice to give Bancor the credit though that they deserve as well.
I thought that augmented bonding curves had something to do with the slippage or something like that, that the bonding curve didn't have, the Bancor bonding curve didn't have, and it was a different implementation of the bonding curve. So I guess it's my mistake. I didn't know that we already have an augmented bonding curve.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worthwhile.
There is no definition.
Give Bancor credit for the implementation of the like banker formula here. Like it's used very broadly. It was super useful. But I don't think it's like mutually exclusive. Calling it an augmented bonding curve doesn't necessarily take away that credit. It's more of like a use case for the implementation or configuration.
Yeah, I don't think there is a definition, and Z always says like there isn't. I mean, we're defining these things. Jeff and I have talked about this a lot. So I think actually the narrative of augmented bonding curve is the narrative we want to tell with token engineering. Is like, yeah, it's great to have automated market makers, AMMs, and bonding curves, but unless there's a purpose. And so I think that's the differentiating factor for me, at least from a comps perspective. But yeah, of course, we can give credit where credit is due. But I think everybody knows they were the first to iterate on the bonding curve. But yeah, let's credit them. But then also, I like the narrative of augmented, as it shows that it's DeFi with purpose. And I feel like that's what token engineering is. I don't know if you guys would agree, or Griff. Yes, thanks for the math,
Okay.
guys. Now let's put it to use for public goods.
Okay. I actually, we actually had that other project that we don't know if it has sense or not to do. For example, I have read somewhere in the documents that we are going to assign different prices to the impact hours depending on how much money we do in the hatch. And this has, we have to redo the, probably add a hook in the pre-sale contract. So when the hatch is completed, it calls another function. That other function is the TC tokens for the people who has impact hours. That's the process of how we could do that. And now those impact hours are transformed into TC at the beginning when the DAO is deployed. But in order to know how much money the bonding curve has had, we have to do that change. But that change only has sense if we also implement that min and max goal into the hatch, because if we only have a target goal, we already know how much money we are going to have at the end. Maybe we have to do that first, actually, or to mix up the two projects in one, because we already have, at the moment, we have a target goal that it's fixed. So we know how much money we are going to have. And if we don't have that money, it's because we have returned the money to the people because that goal was not matched. So that that project only have sense with that one. We should have to recover that from here. Does it have sense? Do we want to have that min and max goal? Maybe we have to do a.
There's a this is one of the forum posts that actually is written and is a great place to capture some of the thoughts on this. The main thing is that with a variable hatch goal, that creates a need for another variable in the system. The one that we like the best, or that we were going with the common stack approach, was a variable, in this case counterweight, or like a variable reserve ratio. Basically a variable shape of the curve. So that's if we are able to pull off a variable in the curve so that we can still maintain the same hatch price and the same open price, that would be pretty incredible. Now that is an engineering task, if I ever heard one though. So like it might be scope creep. Maybe we need to have a variable open price instead, which for me would be a little sad, but it's doable. And it's really what we really need to debate this ideally openly in the forum.
Okay.
It'd be worth also, Griff, maybe having a breakout call specifically around the token generation and all of these things. I feel like this is like maybe also, I mean, yeah, async is good, but maybe some dialogue would help to like get a little more insight in the debate, and inviting like Vasilios and Jeff have really good brains for this as well. Maybe I just poke them to.
What I'm thinking is that we should pull off, or should we pull off that, or should we implement that just in case we at the end decide to have I mean, in the worst case, if we implement that and we go for fixed amount of just a target goal, we set up the min and max the same, and we have been work on a cool feature that is not going to be used. That's the worst case, but it's a use feature that could be used. So maybe it has sense to be working on that during the following 2 weeks. And we already have Vivi and Fabi who wants to work on that. So maybe it has sense to go with that. I don't know why they have left. But what we can do is, I mean, this is a feature that is not going to break anything. And in the meantime, we discuss it in the forum. It's good to have, I guess. Do you, Vivi and Fabi, think? Like also to take that issue that is about decoupling the two goals, because at the moment we have that target goal, which if we get that, we are done, and if we don't get that, we are refunded. But we can decouple that. Would you like to work on that too? Can I write? Can we add these two issues together?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Cool. We lost you, Griff and Jess. We decided to work on them because they are a feature that is not going to interfere with the result. If the result is that we go for one for min and max that are the same, then we are not going to use that actually, but the result is going to be the same. So a feature that is not going to distract.
Cool.
And what else? Could we begin with that thing in the forum? Could you help me in pushing that forward so we can start the discussion?
Yeah. I posted the forum in the note, the link, and then I asked. It's pretty well laid out. Like question 1, question 2: is it technically feasible? Is the first question, right? And so there, it's. I think when you read that, you'll feel like really good about responding to it.
Yeah, and any more
I think that
you want to push, just I can bring it up in the comms meeting tomorrow. Like if there's anything we want to push specifically, or maybe on the weekly call this week, we can say, hey, this is really important. These discussions are going on.
Yeah, please. Yeah, probably we want other discussions to be in the same time. I can.
And if anyone wants to help me finish these forum posts, I would really love some working sessions with someone to hold me accountable to it. I'm having trouble doing anything if I don't have something on my calendar at this point. So like just a cry for help.
Okay.
I can schedule with you, Griff, Wednesday for a hack session. Just sit with you and then help you write if you need.
It would be lovely for someone from the dev team. Sorry, Jess.
I can work with you, Jess. No, but maybe we can do a good team, because it's a bit difficult to communicate. But I have in mind the how everything works. So maybe we can work on that together.
Cool. And if there's a contributor who wants to put in some time too, like that's I know we are as the core organizer, we're always taking all the tasks. I wouldn't mind some random person who doesn't do all so much to jump in. And no offense, Sam, Jess, you guys have so much to do.
I think we can get Vasily on this. He's working on the token engineering book. He's writing the whole chapter 3 on cryptoeconomic patterns. Like, he loves this stuff. He'll do this all day long. So I'll poke him, and he loves to write. So maybe we can, I'm going to just poke him right now and be like, hey, are you up for some debate? These book people, they love to talk
We're talking about that here, right?
Vasily?
Vasily, I don't know him.
Poke him. People are writing books. Of course, they can write forum posts. I'll get them.
Okay. By the way, some of the parameters have changed from the time that he was working on them. They are the same, but they are simplified because there are parameters that are not going to be used. So the new script is more clean than before. Also with documentation that Luke brought some time ago, and it was in our hands that we didn't been keeping track of. So right now it's much more documented. Alex? Okay, so I think that we can go finishing it because we are overextending the call. Would you like to do a closing round on what are your thoughts and how do you feel on continuing with the project? Would you like to start? Last thoughts? Maybe it's not a round of everything of everyone. Just go ahead and say something.
I think I'm excited to work on something else that isn't front-end related. So I think that will be fun.
Okay.
From my side, I'm very excited too, because now, thanks to this meeting, now I have a clear vision on what we are going to work on these following weeks. So yeah, I think that was awesome.
I think we should all have to say something. It's more fun that way. Just throwing it out there. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry I missed this call. Is this I would like, is this a regular meeting? Is this something that we should do every week? And then
yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So then we'll put this on our little calendar. We might even need to get a token engineering commons calendar. I guess we can just hijack the token engineering calendar as we already have been. So I'll add it to there and get it with the rest of our calls. But yeah, awesome. And really excited about how fast you guys are working. It's amazing. I'll pass it to Fiore.
Yeah, for me, this meeting was helpful so I can know better how it's going to, what tasks do we need and how it's going to evolve. And it's exciting for me because it's like a version 2 for conviction voting to make it better. So yeah, it's awesome. And I pass it to Septimus.
Oh, hello. I think the way you're working here is amazing. Like assigning like people and like the organization you're doing, I think it's awesome. And I think Sam is doing a good lead. I don't have much to add, and I'll pass to Jess.
Hey, I was mostly here just to listen, and I'm just amazed. I'm so grateful for you guys, are wizards. I don't know how you do it. And just, yeah, happy to support on anything comms related. And look forward. This has like been amazing to watch it unfold. As to Fabian.
I talk already.
Oh, sorry, I've passed to
It's,
Paolo.
it's always happening to you. Poor Fabian.
I think she passed it to Paulo. I couldn't tell.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about the price fit. I think it's really awesome that I have the opportunity to integrate the graph protocol again. I think it's an opportunity to put into practice my knowledge about the subject. I had a previous project where I implemented, so I think it's gonna be great. And the overview that we just did on this meeting, it's really refreshing for me, even more because this couple of weeks I've been kind of away from the project due to my work, but I'm really excited. So yeah.
Maybe it's time to announce it that Pablo and me are going to be partners in business, and we are going to do an association together. We still don't know if what kind of association, if it's going to be a shared company, or still have to decide. But he's leaving his work and
Yeah. I wasn't sure about the commenting, but yeah, this Wednesday, finally I'm gonna start working on TAC 100% of my time, and it's gonna be awesome.
Nice. And I think Tonga still has to go, right?
Yeah. So, first of all, thank you, Sam, or all of you, but mostly Sam, for bringing me here. And for the next week, if Paulo has already done it, I'm not sure how much I can help. Yeah, because I have less experience than him. But I can, I will be looking at the project anyway, and I don't know if we can, maybe do pair programming or how to work, or I don't know how to do it.
I mean, Tonga, if you want to help me with the spec and the forum posts to explain everything, all the details, you're more than welcome. We could.
I can, yeah. I usually am having a lot of time, so I just don't know what to do. So I'm learning a little bit of everything, but I would like to focus on something. So if you want me to do it with you, yes, for sure. Because I don't know how much I can help Paulo also, because once you have already done something, it's like you kind of know how to do it again. So
Well, I just did one part of the project. There's still other things we have to implement, and if you like, we can do it together.
Okay. Yeah, so unless it takes too much time, the work with Paulo, I can do both. I'm up to it. So yeah. I don't think anyone else is left. Go, someone.
I think we are the only one. Okay, guys. So super cool. Well, actually, my last thought. That's super cool to be working on with you guys. I think that it has been difficult for the last weeks to be working together because there was almost nothing done, and we had to. Well, we had the code base from OneHive, but it was a bit difficult to organize work around the code base because there were parts that were outdated. Outdated means 6 months old, which in this world is already outdated. So right now it's much easier to. We are almost have the prototype. It's still not working. I don't know why, but it should be working. The next thing that our only task here is to improve the prototype in order to have the best thing that we can on the launch of TEC. And because of that, it's much easier now to organize work around that because it's we can organize it as mini projects that are building on top of the base that we already have. So because of that, it's now, and I guess that we can make the work in parallel and advance even more faster than before, with more people who is working on things than before. Okay, so that's everything. I guess we stay in contact in the Discord and Telegram. Guys.
Okay, bye guys.
Guys.
Awesome.